Hola, ¿cómo estás? Mi nombre es Timoteo. Good morning. My name is the Reverend Tim Kutzmark, and I serve as minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Fresno, California. I am so glad you're with us this morning. We're going to begin the service in just about a minute, so you have time, if you don't have one with you, to get a candle or a chalice, because I'll be lighting the chalice this morning and I would love to light it with you. So I'll see you back real soon. Bye-bye.
Hola, buenos dias. Good morning. Mi nombre es Ida. I'm Ida Jones, and I serve gratefully as past president of your board of trustees. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, California, on this Sunday after the inauguration. Unitarian Universalists believe that loving inclusively is a spiritual practice. Here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, we welcome you no matter your race, culture of origin, age, spiritual background, or religious beliefs. You are welcome if you're lesbian, gay, bi, trans, gender fluid, questioning, or non-binary. We welcome you no matter your disabilities, the amount of money in your bank account, or your level of education. You're welcome with or without documentation. Like President Biden, we believe no human being should be called illegal or labeled an alien. Citizen or non-citizen, you are a human being worthy of respect, and you are welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno. Todos son bienvenidos aquí. Would you join with me as we share our aspirations and vision of a beloved community, as captured in our mission statement? La misión de la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de Fresno es amar inclusivamente, crecer espiritualmente, servir con gratitud y trabajar por la justicia. The mission of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno is to love inclusively, grow spiritually, serve gratefully, and work for justice. This week has seen the dawn of a new day of political leadership in this country. A woman of color is the vice president, Kamala Harris. She is African American, Indian American, and Asian American. Her journey has been amazing to watch during the time she has been a leader in California. And Harris has been supported by her sorority of Black women to reach this point. Her inauguration is important as a way to envision new days where even more Black women matter. We can learn from the past, and Harris's inauguration tells us to remember that many, many people made acknowledged and unacknowledged contributions in the past that led to this future. Harris's inauguration requires that we remember all those contributions. Harris's election, her inauguration, signals to all people of color that it is possible to reach the center of political power in the United States. It signals to all women that it is possible to reach the center of power in the United States. Harris's election, her inauguration, should lead everyone in this country to honor the sacrifices and the contributions of many to arrive at this point where a woman of color, Kamala Harris, is vice president. As our service begins, and in a nod to the inauguration and J-Lo's proud and defiant singing of "This Land is My Land," we are joined by two of Reverend Tim's dear friends, Lynn Jackson and Mike Poulter. They offer their own take on this timeless classic. All the way from the East Coast, please welcome Lynn and Mike.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me.
As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me the Golden Valley, and I said, this land was made for you and me.
I roamed and rambled, followed my footsteps through the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was asking, is this land made for you and me?
Was a high wall there that tried to stop me, and on a sign it said no trespassing, but on the backside it didn't say nothing.
This land was made for you and me.
In the squares of the city, the shadow of the steeple, by the relief office I'd seen my people.
As they stood there hungry, I found myself asking, is this land made for you and me?
Nobody living can ever stop us as we go walking that freedom highway.
Nobody living can ever make us turn back. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. Yes, sir.
Muchas gracias, Lynn and Mike. We move, dear ones, now from the sound of singing to the sound of silence, but in between, the sound of the ting shop. We break our silence with a flame that ignites our passion, our reason, our love, our sense of community as we light this, our chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, and the love and the reason that burns at its core. Will you join me now in singing our song of praise, We Rise, complete with our hand dance.
In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise, humbly hearted rise. We won't be divided, rise, with spirit to guide us, rise. In hope, in prayer, we find hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise up from the wreckage, rise with tears and with courage, rise fighting for life, rise in hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here.
Hola, soy Danny. Howdy friends, I'm Danny, and for today's Time for All Ages, I want to start by showing you a picture from the book, She Persisted. This picture is of Justice Sotomayor, and if you'll indulge me for a second, I'd like to read you the text that goes along with this picture. It says, watching fictional judges on the television inspired Sonia Sotomayor to want to be a real-life judge when she grew up. She knew she'd have to speak English as well as she spoke Spanish, study hard in school, and manage her diabetes before she could one day wear a judge's robe and a gavel in her hand. She persisted, eventually becoming a Supreme Court justice and the first ever Latina to sit on America's highest court. She is an inspiration, and she reminds me that it's so important for us to celebrate the inherent worth and dignity of all people, no matter their backgrounds or where they look like. And what I was so excited to see is that she, Justice Sotomayor, this week swore in Vice President Kamala Harris, our first vice president ever to be Black or to be a woman or to be of Asian descent. Together, these two women give me hope that we are able to live into the true promise of America, representation for everyone. But hope's not enough on its own. In fact, hope is a call to do more and to work more. So as we move into our week after a historic inauguration, we need to remember that we need to work hard to make sure that we are truly trying to become a more perfect union, a more perfect faith, and that together we are working to build the world we dream of and the beloved community that radically welcomes all with hospitality and true inclusion.
We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like the tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. No nos moverán. No nos moverán como un árbol firme junto al río. No nos moverán. All of us together, we shall not be moved. All of us together, we shall not be moved, just like the tree planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Unidos en la lucha, no nos moverán. Unidos en la lucha, no nos moverán, como un árbol firme junto al río. No nos moverán. Together we will triumph, we shall not be moved. Together we will triumph, we shall not be moved, just like the tree planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Unidos venceremos, no nos moverán. Unidos venceremos, no nos moverán como un árbol firme junto al río, no nos moverán. Hey. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like the tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. No, no, no nos moverán. No, no, no nos moverán como un árbol junto al río. No nos moverán.
Dear ones, as we were singing those words together, just that image of a tree planted and rooted near the water, I thought of lyrics from our beloved hymn, Spirit of Life, Fuente de Amor. We sing, roots hold me close, wings set me free. Oh, and I love that image that we're rooted, yes, but we're ever growing, ever reaching, ever expanding. Another thing I was thinking about trees is they do so many things. They provide shade for us, they provide beauty for us, but they're also purifying the air. They're cleaning. And this felt for many of us like a week of cleaning, a week of purification. And so, in that spirit, I invite us to take beautiful air in, breathing in peace, holding just a moment, breathing out love. And again, we breathe in peace. We hold, transform it into our love, breathe out love into the world. One more time, breathing in peace. We hold the moment, transform it to love, and breathe out love. As we continue breathing together in this, our wonderful, beloved, sacred sanctuary that we create each and every week by our desire to be connected and to be in community, as we breathe together as that people of Unitarian Universalist faith, I allow two questions to dance before us on the breath. The first, in the last week, where did you feel heartbreak? In the last week, where did you feel joy? A shared joy that many of us had this week was the long anticipated, the long deferred image of a woman being sworn in as Vice President of the United States of America. The first woman of color, the first African American, the first South Asian female Vice President. If you would like to celebrate Kamala Harris, please type an exclamation point right in the comment box. In this week's Thursday morning spiritual drop-in group, one of the things that participants did together was take some time to think about this week, think about what is needed in the days ahead, and write a blessing for our country, a blessing for our nation. Lynn Kimbark wrote these words that I'd like to share. It's called Blessing for My Country. A good man has come to lead us. A good woman has come to support him and us. As divine watches over us all, may we learn again to care for and about each other. May we feel the warmth of hope that is being presented to us, and with care begin to trust again. And with that blessing resounding in our hearts, we gently move into that time of the service where we hold each other. We hold each other in love as we share our joys, our sorrows, our concerns, or our gratitudes. We share from the heart and to the heart. So if you would like to share this morning, please just type that personal joy, concern, sorrow, or gratitude right into the comment box. And as we do so, we lift up these, the names of our beloveds. We especially ask that we hold Linda and Ron S. in love and light. We also want to acknowledge the death of racial barrier breaker and baseball great Hank Aaron. For all that has been shared, for everything we hold in the sacred silence of our beating hearts, and for all those who on this Sunday have no one to remember them, no one to speak their name with gentleness or love, we light this, our candle of community. By our remembering, may we and they be blessed. A second candle now burns. This burns for the over 2.8 million citizens of the world who have lost their lives in this pandemic, 407,000 of whom were Americans. And so, with these unfathomable numbers being held together, let's sing. Our words are meditation on breathing. You know it well. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Cuando respiro paz. Cuando exhalo amor. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Cuando respiro paz. Cuando exhalo amor. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Cuando respiro paz. Cuando exhalo amor.
Do you remember in March and April, in the beginning of this pandemic, when so many people were sheltering in place? It was so quiet. You'd go out, there'd be hardly any cars in the street, and there was an eerie silence all over Fresno. Sometimes silence can be scary and eerie. Other times it's a silence that is infused with love and spiritual power. Let us enter together into that silence. I can still hear her voice in my head, my mom saying, "Be careful the words you use because they're going to come back and haunt you." I think that's why I'm so transfixed by the notion that spoken words are actually individual vibrations of energy that we release into the universe, and as energy, they can never be destroyed. Those words, our words, this energy, continue to vibrate out into the universe. Since the universe is always expanding, so too are the vibrations of our words ever expanding, out and out and out until the end of time. Think of it. Every word we've ever spoken is alive and vibrating out there somewhere. As my mom used to say, choose wisely the words we speak. I love words. I revel in the poetry and the musicality of well-chosen words. I delight as they dance into my hearing. I savor the imprint well-chosen words leave on my spirit and soul. That was one of the many reasons Tuesday's inauguration at the Capitol building was a blessing from start to finish. I listened to the majesty of that moment on earbuds while walking outside. Without the visuals, I simply absorbed the spoken words. Oh, and what words they were. In a tone that was strong but kind, our newly sworn-in president offered words this nation needs to hear. These are just a few of the many words he spoke. This is democracy's day, a day of history and hope, of renewal and resolve. The will of the people has been heard, and the will of the people has been heeded. We will press forward with speed and urgency, for we have much to do in this winter of peril and possibility, much to repair, much to restore, much to heal, much to build, much to gain. A cry for racial justice some 400 years in the making moves us. The dream of justice for all will be deferred no longer. We must end this uncivil war. We can do this if we open our souls instead of hardening our hearts. If these words from President Biden speak to your soul, just type the letter W in the comment box to celebrate them with me. I love words. I revel in the poetry and musicality of well-chosen words. Oh, and what wondrous words Amanda Gorman wrote and spoke and hand-danced on Tuesday afternoon. Words such as, somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. It's because being American is more than pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be. One thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. Words have true power of transformation. Words can be timely and timeless. Words can stop time. Words can mark the passing of time. This week, I was intrigued by the notion of inaugural poems, and I revisited the first inaugural poem ever written. The poet picked for this honor was Robert Frost for John F. Kennedy's 1961 presidential inauguration. If you were at that inauguration or remember listening to it or watching it on TV, just type the letter I for that inauguration. Put it in the comment box. Now, back to Robert Frost. I was horrified when I read Frost's inaugural poem. Knowing Kennedy's vision of an imperfect but perfectible nation, knowing that the poem was written just 19 months before Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, I expected some sensibility of liberation would have infused the imagery Robert Frost offered at such an august occasion. Instead, Frost lost himself in the lofty language of the oppressor, language that perpetuated the American mythology of manifest destiny. You might remember that manifest destiny was the deadly notion that claimed America was destined by God to have her brave settlers spread out across the emptiness of the West, claim it as their own, and build civilization upon it. This land was now our land. Any indigenous people living here must be removed or destroyed in a holy war with this God-blessed new nation. The surety of manifest destiny is one of the deadly roots of the hateful words spewed in the Capitol building during the January 6th invasion. Listen now to Frost's ode to American exceptionalism. The land was ours before we were the land's. She was our land more than 100 years before we were her people. She was ours in Massachusetts, in Virginia. Such as we were, we gave ourselves outright. The deed of gift was many deeds of war. To the land vaguely realizing westward, but still unstoried, artless, unenhanced, such as she was. If these words disturb you in any way, type the letter D in the comment box. Now, power of words. Let's contrast Frost's words in 1962 with Maya Angelou's inaugural poem at Bill Clinton's first inauguration in 1993. She was the nation's second inaugural poet, 31 years after Frost. These are words spoken by Maya Angelou. Come to me, here beside the river. Plant yourself beside the river. Each of you, descendant of some passed-on traveler, has been paid for. You, who gave me my first name. You, Pawnee, Apache, Seneca. You, Cherokee Nation, who rested with me, then forced on bloody feet, left me to the employment of other seekers, desperate for gain, starving for gold. You, the Turk, the Arab, the Swede, the German, the Eskimo, the Scot. You, the Ashanti, the Yoruba, the Kru, bought, sold, stolen, arriving on the nightmare, praying for a dream. Here, root yourself beside me. I am the tree planted by the river, which will not be moved. 4 years after Maya Angelou's poem, inaugural poet Miller Williams celebrated Bill Clinton's second inauguration with words that, in hindsight, now seem eerily prophetic. The words of his 1997 poem foretell this present moment in our nation, some 24 years after he first wrote them. Listen to Miller Williams's words again, or perhaps for the first time. Do so as we rest in the wreckage of 4 years of words. Words that attacked decency. Words that damaged but did not destroy democracy. Words that bore out their illogical conclusion in an armed invasion of Capitol Hill, in the wake of which Williams' words reverberate. We mean to be the people we meant to be, to keep on going where we meant to go. But how do we fashion the future? Who were many people coming together cannot become one people falling apart. Who dreamed for every child an even chance cannot let luck alone turn doorknobs or not. Whose law was never so much of the hand as the head cannot let chaos make its way to the heart. Who have seen learning struggle from teacher to child cannot let ignorance spread itself like rot. We know what we have done and what we have said, and how we have grown degree by slow degree, believing ourselves towards all we have tried to become, just and compassionate, equal, able, and free. Those inaugural words of warning became more hopeful 7 years later in 2013. Richard Blanco, whose parents immigrated from Cuba, was invited to offer the inaugural poem at Barack Obama's second inauguration. In his inaugural poem, Richard Blanco speaks quiet, persistent words, creating community. Blanco invites us to hear it. Through the day's gorgeous din of honking cabs, buses launching down avenues, the symphony of footsteps, guitars, and screeching subways, the unexpected songbird on your clothesline. Hear squeaky playground swings, trains whistling, or whispers across cafe tables. Hear the doors we open for each other all day, saying, hello, shalom, buongiorno, howdy, namaste, or buenos dias, in the language my mother taught me, in every language spoken to one wind, carrying our lives without prejudice, as these words break from my lips. My friends, words hold a true power of transformation. In this fragile and wounded time in late January in the year 2021, may we choose our words carefully. May we as individuals choose our words carefully. May we as religious liberals choose our words carefully. Oh, and may we as a nation choose our words carefully. So carefully. Elizabeth Alexander, a proud African American, carefully chose her words as the inaugural poet in 2009 for Barack Obama's first inauguration. She writes, "We encounter each other in words. Words spiny or smooth, whispered or declaimed. Words to consider, reconsider. We cross dirt roads and highways that mark the will of someone, and then others who said, I need to see what's on the other side. I know there's something better down the road. We need to find a place where we are safe. We walk into that which we cannot yet see." Some live by love thy neighbor as thyself. Others by first do no harm, or take no more than you need. What if the mightiest word is love? Love beyond marital, filial, national. Love that casts a widening pool of light. Love with no need to preempt grievance. In today's sharp sparkle, this winter air, anything can be made, any sentence begun.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great burning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Greetings. I'm Ida, and I again welcome you to my home. Continued spiritual connection is so important, now more than ever. If you're like my family, friends, and me, you've spent the vast majority of your non-working time, and in many cases working time, since March 2020 at home. Connections with family and friends have been virtual, and although the connections have been maintained, they're not the same as being in touch physically. The format of the spiritual connections to church has changed, and that format, though different, has been essential to feeding my soul. It is through the church and my church family that I receive support that invigorates my soul and provides peace and comfort. It is also through the church that I can put my skills and my caring nature to good use. These times have wreaked havoc with the finances of some families and have affected the church finances. For all those friends and pledging members who have been making additional contributions each week, I thank you. The Board of Trustees thanks you, and Reverend Tim thanks you. For those who haven't yet made a special contribution, I ask you to make this become the morning that you do so for the first time. There are several ways you can make your offering electronically, including Cash App, PayPal, credit card, or text. You can also mail in a check to make this offering. A slide will appear in a moment with that information. But first, in the spirit of grateful generosity, will you join with me in saying our word of offering? If not us, then who? If not open hearts, then what? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? If not generously, then how? If not us, then who? Thank you for saying yes, and ashe. Goodbye. I'll see you again soon.
Howdy friends, I'm Danny and I'm back with the reveal of Reverend Tim's Sunday Socks. Polling for Reverend Tim's Sunday Socks returns next week. But on this auspicious week, the Statue of Liberty socks celebrate a peaceful and dignified transfer of power in our fragile yet preserved democracy. Okay, a few reminders for you to know. Today is a busy Sunday for adult religious exploration. At 1 p.m., our beloved Robert M. is facilitating a poetry sharing circle. Everyone is invited to come and bring a poem that speaks to you. The sharing circle should be a wonderful way to connect with one another through words of our favorite poets. At 2 p.m., your 30 Days of Love material arrive in your inbox with a collection of information on this week's hospitality and inclusion theme. There's a choose-your-own-adventure style menu of activities to select from as we celebrate and practice together this special season of love. Then, at 5 p.m., we have our second installment of Art That Makes You Feel. Whether you came last week or not, you're welcome to join us as we explore art and the way it resonates in this time of quarantine, pandemics, and transitions. My last reminder for you is a save the date. February 6th at 5 p.m., we are having our youth talent show. Talents can span from art slideshows, comedy acts, TikTok videos, musical performances, time-lapse dioramas. So be sure to mark your calendars to attend this UU Fresno tradition. And kiddos and youth, it's not too late to sign up. You'll find the sign-up form and all the Zoom links in your order of service in the comments below. With that, I will pass you over to Emily for some more exciting information.
Hello all, Emily back again here with some important reminders about our upcoming church auction. Have you registered on our auction website? If not, look for the link in your email at the bottom of the graphic for 2021, a cyberspace auction. Registering is so easy. Go on the site, click register, fill out your information. Credit card information can be done when you are checking out on February 7th. Then go onto the website and look around at the fun and interesting items that are being offered by your fellow UUs. I know there are a few things you would like to bid on for the financial health of our church. I'd like to highlight a few of those auction donation items now. We need to be entertained, and we are fortunate to have singer-songwriters Randy Sharp and Maya Sharp in a Zoom concert on Saturday, February 20th. Randy is a 3-time Grammy Award-winning songwriter with songs recorded by Linda Ronstadt, Emmylou Harris, Dolly Parton, Kathy Mattea, Glenn Campbell, and many more. Maya is his daughter and a successful songwriter in her own right. Bonnie Raitt, Trisha Yearwood, and The Chicks are among the many that have recorded her songs. They will entertain you in an acoustic concert from Three Rivers, California, and Nashville, Tennessee. Here's one more fun fact. In 1979, Randy and his wife Sharon played music at my parents, Valerie and Steve's wedding. Next, we have a judgment-free shopper who will shop for you 3 separate times and deliver purchases right to your door, or go to 3 stores in one day and deliver the goods right to you. No judgment. Whatever you want. What a great item for the auction. We could all use that right now. The last item I am highlighting today is a Trader Joe's gift basket with some of your favorite goodies inside and a $100 gift card attached. You could get a great deal on this basket for a store where you already shop regularly. Remember to invite family and friends to be a part of the auction. It will be fun to have them involved. If they want to participate, they need to register in order to bid, so please encourage them to do so. This is the UU Church of Fresno's biggest fundraiser of the year. So please be a part of this event, virtual for the first time ever, at our church. It's going to be a great event. The bidding starts next Sunday, January 31st at 12:01 p.m. Make sure you can be there by registering and signing up today. Thank you.
Hola, it's good to see you again. As our service nears its completion, will you join with me and say aloud our chalice extinguishing words? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts.
Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón.
So, would you join me and just gently place your hands over your heart? These words are by Reverend Wayne Arneson. Take courage, friends. The way is often hard, the path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone. We are not alone. May it be true. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Go from here in peace, go with love. Go from here in peace, go with love. Go from here in peace, go with love. In love, go in peace. Shalom and assalamu alaikum. Come gather round people wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you'd better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changin'. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will later win, and the times they are a-changin'. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging, It'll soon shake your windows and rattle their walls, for the times they are a-changin'. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, and the present now will later be past. The order's rapidly fading. The first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changin'.